Are you some sort of sovereign citizen or something?
No, I'm not, and that's defamation.
I'm sorry? I'm asking you a question. I'm not telling you.
No, sir, I do not work for the police. Bravo. See you. Hi, sir.
How you doing?
Can I ask you something about what you said?
Yeah, of course. I don't care. I just have to speak if this would be heard for the
You said you were pro free speech, but you kind of added a caveat about being respectful.
Yes.
Why is that?
I think etiquette is important when it comes to any civil discussion. I always, when I talk about democracy or liberty, I always reference Plato and a Stoic mindset. A man who can articulate himself can get his point across better. As you'd seen by what you guys have been cited, our free speech is now in jeopardy because of what the politicians feel that they are experiencing.
So who's taking the action?
It doesn't matter because perception. If I perceive something and I perceive there's a danger and I'm the one inciting it, ramifications will always be held. That's why an articulate man is a dangerous one. You can make it's like handling a cobra. Have you ever handled a cobra before?
The thing with stoicism, and
well, let me finish the analogy.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you handle a cobra, right?
If it handle a cobra.
If it is tyranny, and that's what we're all scared of, tyranny. Me as an American, I've always been scared of that.
So you're libertarian.
Yeah. So I've always been scared of tyranny. I have a don't tread on me flag on all my establishments. I'm a big advocate of that. But when handling a cobra, if you make the cobra scared, if you make the cobra angry, what does the cobra do?
He strikes.
Okay.
Well,
And what
the
do? You
founding
chop
fathers,
his head off.
the founding fathers would shoot the
The
cobra.
problem with that statement,
We
right?
shoot the cobra.
The problem with that statement, right? The problem with that whole thing is that there's no need for that. There's no need for that. There isn't.
For what?
To kill the cobra.
If he's striking it,
Of course.
There's no need right currently to kill the cobra. I think that we're escalating to a point that is unmanageable.
Do you understand why we're here, right?
Free speech.
No. He was assaulted on the beach, and then he was assaulted in the chambers by the police chief right in front of the city council.
I'm here at all city council meetings.
So were you at the one where he was assaulted by the police chief?
He was told to leave.
Right, and he wasn't going fast enough for Chief Gandy, so Chief Gandy physically assaulted him.
Yeah.
That's why we're here, because his free speech led to an assault by the police chief, and the police chief has zero repercussions. The Cobra did something.
I see what I think that is happening, and I say this because I see it. I see it from both sides.
Go
Just
ahead.
because like I said, I'm a business owner.
We're fine.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm a citizen.
I've been a business owner for my whole life.
No, I'm not saying that you're not. I'm just expressing my point.
Yeah,
so you have
yeah.
a greater understanding of who I am.
course.
So, business owner, I believe in this town. Like I said, a huge advocate, and
It's a great town.
I've seen it change. The city officials that we have now are so much more.
Worse.
No, not.
Have you seen downtown Clearwater?
Let me. The new city council. Half of them are new. It's the mayor's new.
They haven't had time for you to make a decision like that.
I think I have.
And one of their first priorities is restricting speech.
The reason, well, like I said, I'm hearing all opinions, but let me articulate.
Sure,
mine.
sure.
So, the change that I've seen is that like other city council members before this, not like other city council members before this. They come down to the downtown block. I see them at the restaurants. I see them all around. I've spoken critical of the city. I've called them. I said before this, the prior thing I said that there was malice and incompetence in the city. I've said that verbally. I've said that I stand there and like you guys, I'm an advocate of it. But the manner in which you're going about it is more detrimental to our free speech than it is beneficial.
Only if the government is tyrannical.
No, see,
Yes.
it's like children.
With
we all-
all due respect,
They
sir,
have pushed
that's the
us to
rapist
that limit.
mentality.
No, it's not.
You made us do this to you.
Yeah.
Not
You
saying-
shouldn't have wore that skirt.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
If you
Our
would've
free
worn that
speech
short
caused them to be more tyrannical.
So you're saying the slippery slope fallacy. That my
It's not a fallacy.
slippery slope is a fallacy. It's called the slippery slope fallacy.
Okay.
One thing leads to another.
Right.
But
That's a
exactly
fallacy
what's
because
happening.
you don't know until it finally leads to it. That's why it's called a fallacy.
We don't know what.
What I'm trying to say is that this is I'm not condoning or saying that rape is viable. That's what I'm saying.
What you're saying is if we go in there and we express our free speech the way the law says we can,
Okay.
that we're inciting them to do something tyrannical to us.
I'm not saying that you're inciting them. I'm saying that they're people.
So?
Same as you get passionate about your topic and you feel that you need to defend yourself. They are also people.
They're government employees.
let's
Stop
yes.
taking my money. You won't have to hear my mouth.
They're one of my employees.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
There are employees.
I get it.
Okay.
I get that.
So when your employees at your business act out, you don't say, hey, let's have a respectful conversation. Why did you spray degreaser in that guy's face?
I will say this.
You say, get the F out of here. You don't spray degreaser in somebody's
I would
face.
I would say this, just like in my restaurants, right? If I have an employee that I need to terminate, right? I inform them, I terminate them. It is my job as a responsible. But businesses are dictatorial by nature.
Dictatorial.
Yeah.
Sure.
I am.
But this is not a business.
It's going to go back to it's going to go back to what I'm saying. In the business, what I can say, hey, get out of my business, right? We are a republic, like I stated. We elect these.
I'm glad you said that instead of democracy.
Yeah.
We are a republic.
I know.
Like I said, these are our elected officials. We elected them.
We who?
We the citizens of Clearwater.
No. They didn't.
How did they not elect them?
Because only like 8% of the people vote.
Again,
Were the
it is
rest
our-
of the people asked?
It is our.
Were the
burden.
rest of the people given an easy way to vote on their phone?
It is
no.
You can't do that.
It's
You
all
can't-
planned.
You can't do vote on the phone. That's even more. That
Doesn't,
it'll
there
incite more
is a
corruption.
secure way to get more people to vote. They don't want everybody to vote.
I'm a
They want their
huge-
8% who's on their side, who their buddies get contracts with all these millions of dollars of taxes. So yeah, 8% of the population went and voted these people in because they're all connected.
Let me ask this: have you ever used the app e-signature?
Like-
Where
like
you've signed
DocuSign?
DocuSign?
Yeah, of course I have.
Okay, why can't we do that with voting? Where you could vote from your phone.
I think
You can.
I think in general, and again, this goes back because I'm a big libertarian. I think all that stuff is a way for government to manipulate the voting. I
think-
believe that.
Can I give
thoroughly.
you my opinion on the best voting way?
And if you've seen our previous election, with the previous election, we know that to be true.
What?
Mail-in ballots, all that stuff leads to a lot of fishy stuff.
Oh.
Well, the best way is hard copy, live stream them counting.
So it goes
Yes.
back. It goes back to what I'm saying. It is our duties as citizens,
Mm-hmm.
every citizen of Clearwater, to vote officials that we deem fit. It is fine to speak out of them, but they're already elected.
I'm not allowed to vote.
Why?
I don't
He
live in
doesn't
Clearwater.
reside in Clearwater.
Well, that makes sense. It's a city of Clearwater.
Right.
But he's
But
told-
when their police officers commit felonies against people who come out here from a different area,
Yes.
what should happen? It should be ignored, never brought up. The council hasn't done anything about it. It still happened.
Like I said, I think
They are above the law. They are sovereign citizens.
He actually came in here to bring it up.
The police are above the law. How can a chief assault somebody in front of the city council and nothing happens to him?
Zero.
He is above the law.
I
just got trespassed for speaking.
thoroughly believe
They
that.
are above the law.
I thoroughly believe that no one is above the law.
You can believe that, but the reality is government parasites are above the law. They have qualified immunity. Judges have sovereign immunity. Do you have immunity?
Of course not.
Do you get to investigate your own crimes?
Of course not.
The police do.
And they usually find
That is a tyrannical dictatorial process. We shot somebody as a police. We'll let you know. We'll send you an email, let you know what we came up with. Or we might not contact you at all.
No, I understand the point that you're trying
That's
to
all
articulate.
government.
Like I said, I'm an advocate of small government. Always have been. Again, it goes back to my political beliefs. But I still believe that you must treat these people with respect. They're
Why?
still
They have to earn it.
Why?
None of them earned it.
Why?
Be it if only 8% of the population voted for them. Be it it's only 8. That means that those 8% of our citizens, be it manipulated, like you said, or not manipulated, whatever it is, they gave them the authority and the respect, and the respect that they gave them the vote. We as citizens should respect our officials. I do not mean by any means that you can't go up there and be like, hey, it's a violation of our First Amendment right. I do that. I always say it.
If I go up there and say the N-word over and over, that is perfectly legal.
Yes, but it's like a child going up to the civilian being like, "Mom said I can't hit you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not."
We're
That
here
is-
to disrupt the tyrannical process they're under.
Then-
And if you just go up there and you're not quiet, you're still right there. All right.
I don't
Thank you,
think,
next speaker. Unanimous. Thank you, next
I don't
speaker.
think-
Unanimous.
I don't think I'm meek in the way that I speak. I think
It's not meek, but no attention will ever be brought staying
To me?
stoic to your cause.
I think it has been. If you see down the downtown Clearwater area, you said it was in dead, right?
It has been for years.
You said it's been dead for years, right? I've been here for 3 years. Now the 500 block is completely occupied. The corner unit, I'm putting an investor from New York in there. That's because the city officials have listened to me. I might have started aggravated and disingenuous and had have felt like they were disingenuous originally for the previous city council meeting, not previous city council and the previous DDB.
Are you putting that into a Scientology-owned building?
No, of course not.
That's why. Everything else that's owned by Scientology is empty.
It goes again.
Just use
it goes
tax
again.
write-off.
It goes again. I have no qualms. If I was a timid man, I wouldn't be telling people who I am. I wouldn't be telling people where I live. I am not timid. I believe in the First Amendment right and the Second Amendment right. Sure. You want to know why? Because I believe like you are. If you have free speech...
Well, you threw in the caveat of being respectful.
No, I threw in the caveat of being respectful and standing up for what you believe in.
But that's what they're acting on. They're saying no one's respecting us the way we need to be respected. So we're going to get more tyrannical.
Rogers, I am Tony Teller.
Mm-hmm.
I live in the Nolans. I've said that.
The where?
The Nolans, right down here in downtown Clearwater. I own 520, 522, and 528. Some of your members have come and spoke to me. They're restaurants that I own.
Where's that?
Right down here in the 500 block. The only block that's not owned by
the
Scientology.
pizza place we go to?
The only block's not.
No, the pizza place is owned by Scientology.
Yeah.
So
it is?
It is.
Yeah.
My block is not.
Oh, they pay for rent for them?
So go back to what I'm saying. I do not shy away from conflict.
Mm-hmm.
I have no demeanor in saying, hey, this is who I am. I meet with them at my place. I meet with you at my place. I'm sitting down and having a conversation because I believe that it's our right. But to say that I am meek and cower away.
No one said that.
You did. You said that's meek. Stoicism is meek.
No, I said
No.
He said stoic.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, to cower, I don't cower.
I agree with that mentality as far as everything else in life.
Yeah.
Be nice to people. Be respectful.
Yeah. I think you get away far.
But when these parasites take our money under duress, don't listen to anybody. Everything they do is pre-colluded because you can't have 5 people be unanimous every single decision for 10 years in a row. There's something going on there.
On millions of dollars.
I've seen, honestly, and I'm going to say this again, I go to all these.
Mm-hmm.
I see them online, like you guys, I do my due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
I do my due diligence.
Probably do more than us.
These guys, Mike Menino, particularly Lena, and even they speak out against things that are like, Mike Menino is the first to, like you guys, advocate for more due diligence on spending. He's done it.
Mike Menino went on a radio show and clowned us all and said, "We're all we are."
It's because again, when you monetize our rights, and that's what they think that you're doing. They think that by monetizing and using YouTube, you're monetizing our civil rights.
Do they get paid to work?
Of course, like I said.
Does CNN monetize their First Amendment?
So
So what? That's a non-issue.
No, but I guess what I'm saying, are we reporting, or is the whole objective to cause a scene?
Well, no, the objective is to create a big enough scene so attention is brought to the fact that the tyrants in there are using gunmen to quell free speech.
That's my point. Free speech should not be made to make a scene. It should be made.
Of course, that's exactly what it's for unpopular speech.
That free speech is to articulate and communicate a point.
Of unpopular speech. It was passed to protect unpopular speech because popular speech doesn't need protection. If I go in there and say, "Oh, you guys are great," no cop would ever come near me.
You don't have to say that. You can go up there politely, or
politely gets zero attention. We want eyes to see.
I think
what
it
they're
doesn't.
doing.
I think it doesn't, and I think I'm an example that
I'm
it
gonna
doesn't.
show you. I'm gonna tell you how you can prove me wrong.
Okay.
Start a YouTube channel. Do it your way.
Okay.
See how many subscribers you can get to follow you and listen to you and come and support you versus the way we do it, where we got all kinds of people coming here and we actually are causing a scene. We are exposing their tyrannical behavior.
I think again, I'm going to say it again. I think free speech is not meant to cause a scene.
Yes, it is. That's its main purpose.
I fundamentally disagree.
That's not what the founders thought.
They did not think it was to make
it was to protect unpopular speech.
That's not what I said.
And it's reaffirmed by Cohen versus California.
I think that it's meant to protect unpopular speech. That I do agree with you, but I do not believe it's meant to make a scene.
Unpopular speech makes a scene. Those go hand in hand.
Unpopular speech doesn't have to make a scene.
So what? So what if it does? What's the problem?
I think the problem that I have with this is this situation is that the objective seems to be prioritizing making a scene.
No,
it seems like
that's false.
Seems like
we're here because he was falsely imprisoned. He was attacked by the police chief.
So why, in my mind, right? If that happens, right? Instead of making a scene, right? Instead of making a scene, you have that documented, right? Okay.
It's all over the internet.
So you have it. So why not take?
So why haven't they done anything?
No, but you can also take your own form of legal action. There's ways the system you can go about it.
No, there isn't.
Why?
Find me one civil rights lawyer that protects against the Bill of Rights. I guarantee. You could spend on the phone 3 hours right now. You won't find one.
There's due diligence with everything. I'm sure you could find an advocate of, especially now. There's more people that are.
Dude, I've called 150 lawyers, not one, and every single one of them says civil rights lawyer, but not one of them does anything for free speech.
So then why?
Because there's no money in it.
How's there no money in it?
There's no money in Title 42, Section 1983 lawsuits.
So you believe that in the only way that we can monetize, or you can monetize, monetize this, is YouTube.
What do you mean by monetize? It's not my purpose. I've been doing this since before the internet was a thing.
So what is the purpose? To make a scene?
What do you mean to make a scene? To defend the Bill of Rights against tyrants and gunmen. What? That's as clear as day.
It isn't.
How?
As a citizen, it isn't. And it isn't just
How
me.
can you be a libertarian
Of course.
and not understand? We're here fighting for First Amendment and Second Amendment
I
rights.
understand that. I've never said I don't.
You
believe
just
in that.
don't like our style.
I think your style, or the style that is here prominent, is counterproductive.
Okay.
That's all I think. I don't disagree with half
I
your
think
points.
you're objectively wrong.
And I think you are objectively wrong.
Okay, prove it.
I told you how.
Okay,
Prove
I
it.
can prove it by 100 million people watching me and agreeing with me.
I can prove it by changing the downtown.
Changing the downtown what?
Having
That
business.
means they respect your First Amendment because they changed the downtown?
No,
That means the police chief didn't assault somebody because they
believe-
changed the downtown?
I believe that there's ways in order to get your objective.
How do we get the police chief arrested for assaulting someone who didn't break a law? Go ahead. Tell me your stoic way to do that.
How do we get a policeman objective arrested with breaking the law?
For committing assault on somebody, yeah.
See, again, this is on the preface that he committed assault, right?
Well, it's on video.
Okay, so it's 100% now that he committed assault, right?
If I come up and touch you right now, it's assault, yes. Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
If you
Unwanted touching, yes.
I wouldn't classify it as assault.
Dude, if I literally touch you, like, boop, that's a battery.
You understand what I'm saying?
What?
You're playing a juvenile game, like
What
a child,
game?
like
What
a child.
game?
This game, and I'll describe it. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And the moment someone pushes you back, you're a tyrant.
What are you talking about?
I just
he
told
was
you.
attacked by the police
I
chief.
understand what you're saying, but I understand what you're saying. He's attacked by a police chief. You said this is an attack. Would you still qualify that if he was removing someone and forcibly making him vacate? Would it still be assault?
Yes. Forcibly vacate for what reason?
Shouldn't have
Speaking?
in their face like that. That's just so damn
For
ignorant,
speaking?
so rude.
What happened?
I don't know. She's on the phone, I think.
Oh damn. Well, that's
So how
my,
do we get him arrested?
my belief is this. I believe if you go and you talk to him, I think this. If you go and you talk with him, and you don't seem like you are hostile,
Talk to who?
whoever you need to talk to.
We have. They don't listen. You email them, they don't respond. You call them, you go to voicemail. Well, have you not dealt with government?
I have.
How old are you, brother?
I'm 37. So again,
I don't believe you're a libertarian.
You don't think
Or
I'm-
you're maybe a Bill Maher libertarian.
Bill Maher's not a libertarian.
That he claims to be.
He's not a libertarian.
I used to call myself a
I'm more of
libertarian,
a-
but people like Bill Maher say they're libertarian.
That's not a libertarian.
You should just call yourself a constitutionalist.
Yeah, that's what I am.
You know, libertarian doesn't mean that anymore.
But that's
There's libertarians who want to take guns away.
That's insane.
Well-
But that's something we can both agree to.
All right.
Your ability to speak. I just think that the way you should speak should be eloquent. That's it.
Okay, so if I go there and say, Mayor, your police chief assaulted somebody, will you please have him arrested?
See,
I'm now stoic
I would
and
say
nice
this.
and polite.
If
now
I was in your situation, right,
Mm-hmm.
I would say this. I would say, I believe that there's X, Y, and Z in the city of Clearwater, and a thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
I, as a citizen, will now be petitioning
Mm-hmm.
and getting my citizens involved to file a class action lawsuit against this person.
they'll laugh at you. No one will take that
You
case.
don't.
That's the reality.
You think so?
I know, dude, I've been doing this since the 90s.
Okay.
I know how government works. They are basically a cartel. They stick up. Have you ever seen a cop arrest a cop?
Yes.
Usually it's domestic violence
DUIs too.
and DUIs.
DUIs,
And a lot-
assault.
and how many videos you
I've seen
see-
it in assault.
And how many videos you see a cops on a DUI and they let him go, or they drive him home and have his car towed home? They're above the law, dude.
I think.
The Fourth Amendment. What do you think about driver's licenses? Should people have to have a driver's license?
You want my my real opinion on it?
Yeah.
I think that if it's your sovereign property, and you are an American citizen, you do not need to have a license to travel within every state.
Now you understand they'll call you a domestic terrorist for saying that, right? I agree 100% with you.
Like I said, there's things we can agree with. I'm not saying that
if you wanted to get that change here, they would laugh at you for the next 20 years. They make $20 billion a year.
I understand that.
An unconstitutional traffic code.
I understand that aspect of it, but there's things that we agree with, things we don't. All I think is that to rewind again, they're people, they have families.
They don't act like people.
They're people.
They're not.
They've always acted polite and civil with me.
What about when they assault people and falsely imprison them? Are you good with that?
All I'm saying.
Are you good with that?
All I'm saying is, again,
Please answer that question.
I'm not good with anyone assaulting anyone.
Okay.
And period.
And so what should happen to the police chief for committing that felony?
Again, you're stuck on this point and you're not listening to my whole point. I'm for the stuff.
You're just saying be polite is basically what you're saying.
Yes.
And that does nothing. That gets nowhere. Your emails go in the garbage.
You don't.
They say next speaker. Nothing gets noticed. Even if you recorded yourself doing it, nobody would watch that.
I 100% disagree with you.
Nobody would watch it.
I think.
Try it.
I think I've done. So I've spoken out against Scientology, right?
I don't know.
I have.
Good.
On YouTube and stuff like that.
Good. I'm glad you have.
Okay. I've done that. And I've heard backlash saying that it would be negative and stuff like that, right? That because whatever, you're not supposed to give. I did it politely. I told him that I said some negative things, very powerfully negative things. But I didn't go and incite anything. I said, hey,
Do you believe I incited something today?
I believe that you were, like I said, instigating.
How?
Anyone who saw the video would see that.
I'm gonna post it on my thing,
I
and
know
all I hear is, "Go get him, John. You're doing great,
Yes,
John.
because-
We need 1 million more of you, John."
Because the same thing that you stated about the voting class being 8% and fanatical in one group and say that they're thing, you also have a small margin of people, be it 1 million,
Millions.
200,000, 8 million. I don't know your subscribers.
Millions
So you have
of views.
millions of views.
Yeah.
I don't know how many subscribers.
250,000.
Okay, so you have 250,000 people,
Yeah.
right? 250,000 people that support your opinion.
Oh well, maybe
Okay. Or viewing your opinion.
more.
Let's say realistically, you know that YouTube.
My channel has over 100 million views. The overwhelming majority are on my side.
like I said.
So we're talking about 100 million people have watched my stuff, and over the majority are in my favor. 100 million people is more than most countries.
There was 100 million views.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's people watching. Most of your
It's
traffic.
either a person or a monkey or a dog or
most
something.
of your traffic is going to be repeat customers. Like most of my.
That's
business
not true on YouTube. It's actually most people that watch your channel come from outside your subscribership. If you look at the stats, I'll gladly show you if you don't believe me.
Well, that's just not. It's not that I don't believe you. There's no
I
reason.
don't even make that much money, dude.
There's no reason not to believe you.
It's not about the money for me. I don't make that much.
What I'm trying to say is that's my fundamental point. To remind that they are elected officials that we elected.
No, we didn't.
Our citizens elected. Same thing.
No, they didn't.
Same thing as you're saying that you're representing the vast majority of Americans, millions, right?
Oh, well, the vast majority of people
Who agree with you.
Yeah.
So, like you, who have your subscription base, they had their subscription base.
Except they have guns, a monopoly on violence, qualified immunity, sovereign immunity. They let each other go. They don't bust each other. It's not an equal playing field.
So then why wouldn't you run for
Sure, if I had
political
100 million soldiers,
so why
I
would-
could make change real
So
quick.
why? That's tyranny.
That's exactly gunmen.
No.
Removing you for speech
no.
is tyranny.
What you said, you sound like tyranny.
I sound like a government.
That's
A guy in the control of a bunch of gunmen. That's government.
you said I would.
Government
make
is
change quickly.
force.
I said I would make change quickly. Our government, unfortunately, does not make change quickly.
Oh yeah, they do.
They do not. That the bureau, you can't be.
It depends on what it is. If it's something they want, if it's something they don't want, they stall.
There's
and
so much
stall, and
bureaucracy.
stall.
It's everything takes a long time with government.
That's true.
So like the reason why it's not like if I had 100 gunmen, I would make a difference because then it's a dictatorship. One person. There's 6 city council members sitting in there.
And they all unanimous on everything, and they all support the police.
They disagree constantly.
Then why they always vote unanimous?
I don't know.
Because they don't disagree.
They don't vote always unanimous.
Every meeting I've been to, everything on the agenda, every single time has been unanimous.
I've seen,
Every single time I've been here.
you know I've been here. I've seen it multiple times. Like I said, Lena, Mike Menino, they've also spoken.
If they have voted 4-5, 5-4, 3-5,
I see.
I've yet to see it.
I would say stick around. It happens.
It does happen?
I promise you. Like you said, I'm not a man who's against your political beliefs. Obviously,
How can you be? I'm constitutionalist,
so am I. But
but I'm not a polite one.
I think there's enough space in both of our opinions, and I think it's part of it.
I don't dislike you, brother.
It's part of it. You have your way, and I have my way. I guarantee my way will get things, and your way will get things done.
Who do you think the founding fathers would agree with, you or me?
I think there were a mix of them. If you really look into their dialogues, I think there was people like you, and there were people like me.
But which ones fought?
They all fought.
They all fought?
Most of them fought.
They all picked up arms?
Well, Jefferson fought. Quincy Adams
So
questionable.
there was a 2 or 3% tax. They went straight to war over it.
Of course, we live.
Now we're at a 30% tax.
That I agree with.
A monopoly on violence.
So
the cops don't even know the law that they're supposed to enforce.
I think
They don't even know the law. They're not taught law. You don't see a problem with that?
I think
They're not even taught the law.
I think that the more that we demonize police force, right? The more we demonize police force, the more.
Dude, they kill 3 people a day.
The more,
and 20 dogs.
Yeah, I would say the more
They raid people's homes at 4 in the morning and kill their dogs and throw grenades in baby cribs.
That's again, those are horrific atrocities,
And they happen on a regular basis.
But they are also. I don't think that the vast majority of police forces like that, or even condones.
It's
that
like
behavior.
what?
Condones that behavior.
Then why did they do it? Did they arrest the cops who did it? If they don't arrest the cop who's doing it, they condone it.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Period, point blank.
I can see that.
So Sergeant Stiff put a guy in jail for saying he gets under the thin skin of mayor, angst. Were you there for that one?
Yeah, I was.
So he put a man in a cage for saying he gets under the thin skin of the mayor. He didn't even say anything. He was being stoic.
Like I said, first of all, you're talking about.
You telling me that's an arrestable offense?
Who's the gentleman, the older gentleman? Baluba, viewed as it is, and viewed as Baluba is a fine. I might not always agree with his points, but Baluba does a good job articulating his point. He does a good job articulating his point.
He was arrested?
I get it. I understand. You said it quite a few times. He's an articulate man. He has my respect, right? And he does stand for a lot of things. If he was unjustly arrested, right? If he was unjustly arrested.
What do you mean if?
Because I don't know.
Were you not there for that meeting?
I was, but I don't know any.
He said, I get under the thin skin of the mayor, and he was arrested for it.
I don't know.
But you were there.
I understand that, but
what are you missing?
The whole story.
You're doing bureaucratic stuff now.
I guess so.
It's as plain as day. He arrested a man for saying he gets under the thin skin of the mayor. That should infuriate you.
Like I said.
That should infuriate you.
Like I said, Baluba, I'm a big. I shake his hand.
But that has nothing to do with Baluba. Say it's anybody.
It does. It
doesn't.
It does.
Any person who says they get under the thin skin of the mayor should be arrested?
Absolutely. I didn't say that. Come on. You
Okay.
can't take me out of context.
I'm not. I'm saying you agree with me, but you keep talking about Baluba. The point is,
I'm saying I agree with Baluba.
right.
I don't necessarily think that he's.
So what should happen to Sergeant Stiff?
No, like I said, that what should happen to him? I think in anything, right? There has to be, what do you call it? Due process.
There's no due process for police. They investigate their own crimes. That's why they're above the law. Imagine if you get pulled over,
like I said,
and he gives you a ticket, and you say, "Hey, I'll email you in 2 weeks after I investigate if I did something wrong." On the road.
That's the due process. If that's the due process,
you don't know about internal affairs.
Of course I do, but
okay.
If it's not always like what you're saying. It isn't always what you're saying.
What isn't always what I'm saying?
There isn't always. There's police officers that stick up for the Constitution. There are police officers who advocate for
where
all over the United States. I've
watched 20,000 YouTube videos. I've seen 5 cops.
Which one are going to be the best?
5.
Negative publicity is always higher. It gets more attention than positive.
What do you mean negative publicity? Again, you're making excuses for these guys.
I'm not making excuses.
We hold a camera. I can't make you say something you don't want to say.
No.
I can't make you act the way you don't want to act.
Of course.
So when we point the camera at cops and they don't know the law and they violate the law and they violate your rights and nothing ever happens to them, it's not just because of the negative. Yeah, but that's just reality.
Is the objective to get them to violate the law? Is it like entrapment?
How can a cop violate the law? That means they don't know their own job.
Okay, like that. So that's my whole point.
That's the epidemic going on in this country. Police don't know their own job. They don't know the Constitution. They violate their own. Okay, bro.
Yeah,
I thank you.
No, yeah, dude. Like you said, I appreciate the discussion.
I'll come here with you.
I think the best thing that our country is missing is conversation.
Exactly. But that's what they're trying to stifle.
Yeah, well, like I said, I believe in that. But conversation is best held with, eloquently.
Between you and I, yes.
I just got myself kicked out of the meeting.
Between you and I, yes. Between us and government parasites, no. Have a good night. There's Sergeant Stiff. There's your guy.
As long as it's not, it shouldn't be the objective to do that. To be kicked out cannot be the objective.
That's not the objective. They make the decision to kick us out, not us.